And today, we're not going to talk about that. We are going to do some live readings. So if you want to donate to my live readings, you can go buymeacoffee.com, ask Holly Hall. So today we're going to do the live readings. I just finished doing a Facebook and a YouTube live on what I saw was to be the financial crash for May 16th, 2022, and how this has something to do with March of 2023. And you're going to want to watch one of my videos I'm going to be putting up. I'm going to be putting up later on tonight when I do an enormous amount of editing. Okay. Now I want to do just free readings. So what I want is exactly like this. Okay, I want you to give me your birth date, time, place, and I want it like May 02, 81, or whatever your date is, and your question all in one line, okay? Because it's going to be all about you right now. So we're going to do some live readings. Now we've got some energy, and I want to focus on why are you here? Why were you specifically born in this time, in this era, in this year, to be a part of this global shift and change that's happening? A lot of people are questioning their careers. What is my career? What am I here to do? What am I meant to do as a career? And some people are using placeholders, as in, I want to make more financial income. I want to be financially independent. I want to not have to rely on the matrix. I don't want to be in the mainstream. I want a lot more than that. Okay. Cheryl, I don't know why I never noticed that you weren't. I didn't know you were born in Winnipeg, Canada. Do you still live there? I thought you were in California for some reason. Because we're going to be going across Canada trying to find this year. Okay. Trying to find, so how will my life be in the new year? So my predictions right now, I'm focusing on I thought you did live in California. So I'm focusing on, why are you here? Why are you here on this planet at this time? And what are you supposed to be doing? If you're one of my spiritual peeps, you know that you're not here to maintain the status quo of what the world has been for the last 100 and something years. You are here to be, or even hundreds of years. You are here to become a part of the new world, the parallel world that I see. Now, you may not be a big player. I'll tell you what I'm here for. Okay, I'm specifically here to help you guys figure out what you're here for. That's what I'm here to do. What is your place? What's holding you back? What's blocking you from becoming a part of that energy? I don't care if you're working in a factory or you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing, a waitress. It doesn't matter. You can still choose what side of the tracks that you want to be in. What part of the parallel world do you want to be in? And some of you are here to help others, to corral them, to gather them up, to help them gather their own thoughts, corral their own needs and desires and values to be a part of the system that they want. I've helped therapists quit their jobs, doctors, family physicians quit their jobs, navigate their jobs. Source helps me to do this. And I will tell you, I had a client the other day say that, she hadn't had a reading in a long time for me, so she doesn't really know my new way of working with people. And Bridgette, I'm definitely going to help you with that. I love the way that this is what Bridgette says. Look at this. I am a healer is what I know so far, bringing in heaven to earth. I hold the light, a magnet. I love it. I love it. Definitely going to take a look at you there. And this is not, we're not talking about the financial crash. I already did that one. Okay. So, and if you want to donate, you can donate here. So let's first, so my job is to help you find out your place here. And until you find out what that is, until you tap into it, you will feel lost, confused, unfulfilled, unsatisfied, always looking for what's going to happen next year to make me happier, to make me feel complete. We're lacking community. We're lacking the collective. And that's what the energy needs to come back to. There is a great divide, and I've talked about that before. We need to have both. Okay, we do need to have both. We can't fight the system. We have to create a new system. Okay, so let's see where all of you stand on that. We're going to go to the chat, and I'm first going to take a look at Andrea. I'm going to separate that here. Okay, so Andrea, I know a lot about Andrea. She is definitely gone down the rabbit hole in discovering what the matrix is and what the matrix is all about. And when we discover some of it, even just a little bit of it, it's quite frustrating. And I know that she's really wanted to help with people around their health. And I think that's a very important part of the picture. If we don't take care of our health and our physical body, then then our brain, our hormones, every part of our cell in our body is not going to be functioning right. And a lot of times in this new self-help guru world, and I can get frustrated with my clients. And I've got a couple in particular I'm frustrated with because I keep telling them, you got to take care of your health, your brain. Okay, now these people eat well and they're physically fine, but when we're under an enormous amount of stress, and I'm not a medical professional, do your own due diligence, but when you're under a lot of physical stress or mental stress or emotional stress, there's parts of your body that stop functioning optimum. You start using up an enormous amount of vitamin B. You start using up a lot of magnesium. Your muscles start contracting, and your stomach, your digestive system stops working, starts working, freezes. Everybody's different. I know when I look at your chart what parts of your body are affected. And if you're not giving extra, if you're not supplying yourself that extra boost, turbo boost, to be able to get through a stressful time, you can meditate till the cows come home. You can read as many self-help books and pay money for tons of workshops. And if your body is failing you and not giving you off the right signals and fooling you into thinking that you're in more stress than you may really be in, then none of that's going to help. You have to take care of the physical self, the physical side, what you eat, supplements that you take, and do your due diligence. A lot of supplements have fillers and a lot of crap in it, right? Now, I'm not an aggressive exerciser. I wish I was. I would be in better shape. But Andrea is. And Andrea understands, and I'll tell you, you are a rescuer, you are a warrior, and you are a healer of the mind. So what you do is you help people find the courage to have practical skills to be able to deal with their mental health and what they are afraid of. What are their vulnerabilities? So if you want to still continue to go down the route of being an exercise coach or guru, this is where you have to stay. But you have to talk about the underlying issues. Not everybody, like for instance, I'm not an aggressive exercise. I will walk for an hour and a half listening to podcasts. I will, in the past, I would walk some aggressive hiking trails, but not overly aggressive. It's just something that doesn't resonate with me. I like Qigong. I like yoga, and I like this app that I have on my phone that has me do about 10, 15 minutes a day of strong exercising. That's for me, right? Now, let's say I'm somebody who doesn't know how to, doesn't want to exercise at all. I don't have time. I'm stressed. I don't want to add more stress to my life. You, Andrea, are the kind of person that would help people find the courage to dig deep on what are they afraid of? What is their fear? What's the underlying issue that's holding them back? If exercise is considered suffering, and these people come from a life of suffering, they don't want to put suffering in their life. It's going to trigger them into a victim mentality. It might trigger them into a reminder of their body connection to pain body, of abuse as a child. All right. So this is what you're good at, is the psychology. You don't have to be a psychology or take psychology, right? It's about helping people rise above their fears. That's what you're here to do, and that's what you're good at. Now you're also an adventurous person. So you're also here to try all kinds of things. So don't be upset if you don't just stick to one thing. You're competitive. So you're going to want people around you to be as competitive as you are. You always want to do better, 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 best, 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 rise above, rise above. But not everybody else is like that. Some people like to just maintain a status quo and stay passive, and that's where they're comfortable. Those aren't your clients. Okay? So you're going to be going into, if this is the time that you were born, you will be going into a magic wand phase, but you're also going to be coming into a phase starting in June, of 2022, which will go until March of 2023, in which you can cha-ching on your business. You can cash in on your business. Everybody's trying to go global. I want you to go local. I don't want you to go on the internet and think that you're going to be a YouTuber or an influencer. People are going to follow you, and that's how you're going to make your money. This is where I want you to go global. And I also want you to work with people that are new moms, people that are new self-employed working from home, people that are also teenagers, which you work really well with. And I've always said to you, there's a location that is used during the day as something else, or used during the week as something else, and you can utilize that space in the evenings or in the mornings or on a Sunday or a Monday. Okay, that will come to you suddenly, unexpectedly. Opportunities it'll be very off the charts, completely different than what you think it might be in June of 2022. So if you're feeling restless, agitated, irritated, I want all my dreams to come true, hang on. Take a break. Breathe. It's not going to happen till June. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Cheryl, who's born, I always say, the same day as my daughter, but obviously not the same year. And she's asking a general question of what this year will play. Why am I here? And do we have your time of birth? No. So, okay. So one of the things, you're here to shine the light on you as a Leo. You are here to become a very important person to yourself. I'm important. I'm good at what I do. But you're also very restless, and you're also multitasking. And so it's hard for you to focus on one task when it comes to your career. So I know that you're also in the psychotherapist and you tried and you are doing the coaching on the side. I want you to look more at things are shifting for you. And I want you to look at more at moms that also need to shine the light on themselves, that need to have more confidence in the way that they look, in the way that they present themselves, and how they communicate. What you're very good is at communication skills. What is it that the people need in the future? So when you're communicating with your husband, when you're communicating with your boss, when you're communicating with your coworkers, what is the outcome that you want? Yes, they're emotional about their job. They're emotional about their financial situation. They're emotional about their uh, their partner situation. But it's the communication that you give people great communication skills. I want you to take a look at NLP, neuro linguistic programming. I'm not sure if you've already studied that. That's what you're very good at and working with. Now, if you're wanting to work in the parenting field, you're very empathetic and sympathetic, and you're good at helping people with their intuition. But your soul's purpose is to help people shine, to realize who they are and have the confidence to have a voice and to be heard. And that's your specific gift. Your downfall that can get in your way is the the jumping from one thing to another to another to another to another and not focusing. Okay, it's very unique. I don't know of anyone who's called a communication coach. But that's that's the title that I was just told to give you. You're a communication coach. This year, you've ended a very difficult cycle, and this year is around you making that dream come true from getting out of the traditional clinical kind of approach to your job and working with the feminine energy and owning that feminine energy and becoming that communications coach. Nothing else is jumping at me right now that's saying a year or a date or anything. I have to do more detailed work on that. So that's what I've got for you today. And Andrea says, yes, hi, can you read me? I can, Bridgette. I need your birth date and everything. Great. So now we're going to look at Bridgette. And she's November 8 at 3:15. AskHollyHall.com is where you can get a hold of me to have a reading. You want to find out why you're here. You want to walk through it. I'm not just a woo-woo crystal ball witchery type of predictive job. Okay, that's not just what I do. I have that ability. Astrology has the ability for timelines and specific timelines. But we need to engage deeper on a soul level. And you need to co-create with the universe. And there are things that our childhood specifically, that's where I start off with my clients, is their childhood holding their back. Holding you back. We have learned specific lessons from our parents on purpose. I know some of us would go like, why would I be born into that kind of dynamic, into these types of parents? But you chose those parents to learn something so that your adult version of you will help and serve others, specifically in this generation, in this time from the 1960s, late 50s onward. Okay. And you have birthed children, some of you, from the late 1990s, so that they can defy authority as well. So they can defy the system. Okay. So she's saying she's a healer and she wants to hold a magnet. Now, what you've done, you are a healer of the mind as well. You've got the power of the psychotherapist. You've discovered your ability for also psychic ability in realizing other people's fears and realizing what's holding them back and what they're afraid of that's keeping them from their future. You've had secrets as a child that you had to hold on to. Those secrets, the understanding of the depth of how that secret has affected you on a psychological level, how it has your thinking pattern working, is going to come to the forefront on June 2022, and that's going to continue until March of 2023. You're going to do a real deep dive in what your fears are. It will come to the surface. You will speak and communicate about this, and it won't be believed. People will have a difficulty in believing what you have to say. The lesson in all of this is to heal yourself and be okay and to understand on a deep psychological level of why some people just cannot be on the same page as you. I listened to this it was a Instagram post, and this woman said, "Stop trying to communicate with people who are not on the same level as you are." And we're not talking about levels like you're down here and I'm up here and I'm better than you are. No, we're just talking about two playing fields, two different dimensions, two different parallel worlds, two different ways of thinking. If they're not thinking in the same level that you're thinking, stop arguing with them. Stop trying to convince them of your way. And this is what this is all going to be about. Okay? And well, and Andrea, I'm going to go back. Andrea's mentioning liver and gallbladder. Liver and gallbladder is anger, held in anger and held in frustration and feeling that you're holding back. Courage and bravery. That's gallbladder, liver, anger. Okay, look at that childhood anger. So going back to Bridgette. So as a healer, which will come forth more so in February, you're going through a tough time. It's really confusing for you right now. That's going to end in February of 2023. When that's over, you will know you might want to get in touch with Cheryl because this is for you. It's about communication, and it's about being very discerning about how you communicate, who you communicate, and what your intentions are. You're big about the truth. Lies, deceptions, people not seeing the truth, not wanting to know the truth, don't want to be vulnerable enough to accept the truth is extremely frustrating for you. But you're able to help others realize that sometimes the truth isn't important. Sometimes convincing other people of your truth isn't important. And once you get through this is a very sensual energy. Right? There's a very sexual, sensual, passionate, deep energy. And it has created some sort of OCD tendencies for you as well. But you're a healer of the mind, and you're here to help people who've gone through exactly what you've been through. Addictions can be around this, growing up with addictions. You're here to teach. You've been a teacher you've got a book in you as well. You've been a teacher in a past life, but you have to speak your truth and not be afraid. And there's that little girl that's still really afraid to speak that truth. It's vulnerable. It is. It can get some people in some hot water. So what I would strongly advise you is before June comes, find yourself a coach. I know Cheryl's a coach. Andrea does the physical coaching part of it. I think that you might have a hard time with the physical part of it though, because of that suffering, and or myself, and find out what's the underlying intention for this truth coming out. And be prepared for all consequences, to prepare yourself for all consequences. It's like running a marathon or a race. If you're not prepared, you're going to crash and burn halfway through. You're not going to make it. Preparation is extremely important when I see these time cycles coming up. So I'm going to get her feedback. I don't believe in medical doctors. I believe in root cause. That's right, Charlene. I do too, in a way. I think there are some really good medical doctors, but they're starting to quit, right? Andrea agrees with the local that, hi, Charlene. Beautiful. How many of us have different jobs to do? Do we all have one? No, we don't all have one. That's a very good question. She's a social worker. That's a very good question. And Cheryl, something came to me about working with lawyers and teenagers and delegations and communications. That just popped in my head. So I have to tell you that. Okay. So no, you can do that type of job that I just mentioned to you, Bridgette, in so many different areas. So you could be working in a factory and helping people that are down and out, putting together your own little group, your little self-help support group. You could be doing volunteer at a soup kitchen and really listening to the fear, what other people are afraid of, and what their psychosis is telling them. You can be working as a waitress and listening to people's problems and giving them support to have courage and the bravery to speak their truth and speak their mind. But you're also here to learn, and then teach what you learn. And you're going to learn to become discerning in the last year of who's your students. Are they willing students? Have they asked you to become their teacher? This is what can be difficult, right? Not everybody wants to be a student of me. Not everybody wants to learn what I have to teach. So now we're going to look at December 4th, 87, 2 p.m. And Jenna needs some guidance, Holly. I'm stuck. Can you shed some light? Okay, definitely going to work on you. What's my purpose? Jenna says. Cheryl says, thank you. Spot on. Explanation mark. Jasmine, I love this, a vulnerable question. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Jasmine is a client of mine, so she's not spamming us, people. I love it. Okay, so let's first look at December and what is her purpose here. Okay, this has been since, let me say, May of 2021. You've been extremely frustrated in the position that you're in, specifically around work. But I'm thinking of, it's more around education. So I don't know if you're in the education right now, if you're in school right now. There's been frustrating about your future. This is not the future I wanted. I don't want this. I don't want to work for other people. I don't want to work underneath somebody else. I don't want to be controlled in this situation. If you do come from a cultural background that's very domineering, male dominated and controlling, there's also a separation of belief system for you and trying to figure out what is my belief system. That's what you're here in this lifetime. You're here to hone and control your own belief system that is completely separate from what you've been taught as a child or as a culture or as your society. And you've been really honing in on this in the last year. You're at the end of that cycle right now, as we speak, just ended. And you probably had a big blow up with somebody not too long ago because you wanted them. And it's very similar to the other reading that I did. You probably started thinking, is she talking about me? Because this is similar energy. This is my truth. This is important to me. And if you think it's woo-woo or awkward or weird or then, and this was a lot to do between mom and dad too. So there's this separation that's happening around truth, and also what were you supposed to go to school for? What are you supposed to be learning? What is your value as a working class citizen? And that's not you. You're not that working class citizen. You need your freedom. You're a teacher. You're a traveler. You're good at sales. You're good at being in an autonomous position where you work for yourself. But fear has held you back. Fear has held you back. Deep, deep fear, past life related fear has held you back because you don't have that confidence in yourself. And you will. You're just gaining that confidence right now as we speak. So your sole purpose here is to communicate to others and to help them find their truth in their specific, mostly in the workplace, to really help and to work for yourself. You're not supposed to work for other people. Nobody's supposed to be the boss of you. You have to work on your own. So you have that freedom to work on your own or be self-employed or be in an autonomous position. You make a great teacher and a great writer, and whatever you end up learning, because I think you shifted gears. You've decided that that's not what I wanted to. I want to learn something else. You're the eternal student. So you're going to have these epiphanies of wanting to learn something else your whole life, and that's okay. You're going to have more than one job. You're going to have more than one career. And I want you to fly by the seat of your pants. Whatever rocks your boat at that time, do it. It will lead you to the next one, and then do that. So somebody might call you a serial entrepreneur or a serial climbing up the ladder corporate person, but you're going to get there. But you just have to follow your own lead, your own mind, your own thoughts. Are you restless? Do you want to multitask? Do you want to do several things at the same time? Yeah, that's okay. Try them all. That's what you're here. While you're navigating through your belief system, what you believe is your truth. You've also got the mind of a psychotherapist, counselor, etc. Sure, Lisa. Jasmine. Jasmine wants to know why she is so sexual during her moon cycle. And she is a regular client of mine. And this is April. Now, our moon cycles, you want to look at whenever we've got issues around our menses. We want to look at when did you start your first, I don't have your time of birth. So when did you start your first? So I was in my late 11. I was 11. So when I went through, which was early, so I also went through early menopause. So when I went through early menopause, I wanted to take a look at what happened to me at the age of 11, what was happening, because it was difficult. It was very emotionally painful. I left a job during that time that was raising a kid, single on my own, then connected with somebody on my own. And this all had to do with what happened when I was 11 within my family dynamic. I was healing that part of my feminine being as well. So you want to take a look at when did you start your menses and what happened to you? What was your dynamic around the dominating male lesson around sexuality, right? Where did you get your sexuality lesson from? How did you learn? What did you learn about what sexuality was at that age? Now, this also is around self-nurturing and self-care and and just loving. So even though you're like, I'm horny and I'm sexual, I want you to admit that there's also a need, a desire for physical connection, for cuddling, kissing, holding, uh, to be back into your birthday suit, right? And have that sensuality. So if you are lacking this physical attention in your days between your menses, then when the menses come, it's like, I need to be touched. I need to be held. I need to be skin to skin now, right? Because it's just you're a pretty easygoing person. You don't really want to rock the boat, so you're not going to ask for it in between. You're pretty independent. But during that time, all your defenses are down and you're just like, give me the touch feel now, right? Now, if it was just sexual, then you can buy things at a specialty shop that can take care of that for you. And so if it's just sexual, then you go ahead and do that. But I don't think it is. So Lisa Day, we're going to look at you. May 27th. Doesn't know the time. Wants to know many things. I'd like a specific question. You may contact me if you like for free consultation. So that was for Bridgette. Bridgette, Cheryl is offering a free consultation. Cheryl said, lawyers, thank you. Jasmine admits that she is looking for physical attention. Yes, I work in education, Jenna says. Okay, so we're going to look at Lisa. So Lisa, this is neat because you're at the tail end of a magic wand cycle. And that magic wand cycle you've been going through for like a year. And this is around financial abundance. You want to have more of a financial independence. You're looking at long-term finances. So you may have purchased a house about a year ago, or you may have paid off a house. So there's some financial freedom. You may have been in a situation where you thought that you were going to be in lack financially and have realized in the last year that you actually could maneuver things around and you're not so much in lack. Something's telling me that I've got to look deeper at this. I want to look at there. You've got some PTSD around anger, and the anger seems to be connected to money from your father, your experience with your father as a child. And it was your mother's state of feeling like a victim because of the situation financially with the father. That was a very sudden, unexpected event as a child that has created this PTSD around, I've got to work really hard for my money, work, 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 hard, hard, hard. And in the last year, you thought, I worked hard. I deserve a break. I don't want to be so attached to the financial paradigm anymore. And with that actually came financial freedom for you. But something's telling me, and that was healed as well. And that's a whole generational thing. And it's going to help. If you've got children, it really helps with your children as well. You are here to teach. You're here to be a leader and to teach. There's a book that you need to write, and I hope you've already started it. And it is around the self-worth, okay? Self-worth and finances and financials. It's around that. It's a very playful book. So it could be maybe even a child's book. I don't know, but it's a very light, playful book. You can actually help teach people too the basics of financial, emotional security, and to be shine as a female, to rise above the male-dominated paradigm. But I'm going to go to there's something's making me look a bit deeper at your chart. So just if you can just bear with me. Yeah, Saturn square Mercury. I knew there was a challenge going on. That just started in March. And that's again now. So now you thought you had this momentum financially. You've made some financial decisions. Now you're getting scared again. You're getting that whole paradigm that happened as a child. You're gonna have to work at it. If you work at it, it has to do with communication. So it might have to do with marketing and sales and communication as well. You could be working in a situation where there's a boss or somebody that thinks they're the boss of you, and there's some serious conflict in viewpoints. This is going to go on until January 2023. The problem that's arising here is that your ideas and your opinions are, and communicating with people are being challenged by others, and there's causing a lot of disagreements. You just had like a big disagreement at the end of March, because I don't know your time of birth, I can't be specific. Did you give me your time of birth? No. Because I don't know your time of birth, I can't be specific on what area it's in, but you're also feeling alone and that you want to withdraw from others. But this is a time of a different way of thinking, okay? And a different way of thinking about your self-worth and about financial situations. You're a survivor. You always find a way, and you always have. So take a look at your own history, but go even deeper into that childhood and that PTSD. It's a type of PTSD. So I want you to look at CPTSD. I want you to look up CPTSD, conditioned, I believe that's the word for it, but it's when you've got this repetitive, right? But there was one event as a child around the age of 9. Once you get through that hump, once you get through that understanding of what I'm just talking about, that's an aha moment for you. That was your lesson. All you have to do is learn that lesson. Self-worth, money, not always the same thing. Is it possible for me to be a successful coach, therapist, just finished training, and I'm not yet in business? I will tell you who's making, coaches are on the rise of making money. I will tell you who's making really good money is people that are training coaches to be coaches. and I have a feeling, because Source has given me this message, I don't know the time of your birth, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And you are. Oh my goodness, girl. You have Leo, 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 Cancer, Leo. You're here to become kind of like a therapist, but working with families and the family dynamic. So I don't know if you're doing parenting coaching, but this is around the family dynamic. You can also be a love coach, but more about love for yourself. Having things in your life that you love about yourself, that you're having fun, playful, bringing back that childlike personality in the career, in the relationship, in their life. You're a leader. So eventually you will create a program where you will help other coaches. Okay, so that's what you're going to end up becoming. You will be the coach that helps the other coaches. Now, are you going through a challenging time right now? Absolutely. And that ends in June or in May. Okay, and this is around the ego. You do have a go big or go home. So it's like you want to be the next Tony Robbins. You want to be the next Oprah Winfrey. You want to be the next Joe Dispenza. What I'm saying is that we want to bring that down a notch. Being famous and popular is not what's going to work for you right now. Right now. It will work for you more into the end of 2023. And if I did a more in-depth reading, I could talk to you more about the timelines that will get you to that point. I'm at the tail end of a cold, so bear with me. And you're very optimistic. You got this great, vibrant optimism. Eventually, you will be known, well known, for the psychology, the fear behind the emotions, the psychology, the fear about being feminine in a masculine world. That's sort of your niche. And also around creativity. You're going to add a splash of creativity and entertainment. You're really entertainment. You might think that you're shy, but you're actually here to shine. So I want you to start doing, even if it's just for yourself, I want you to start doing things like what I'm doing here right now. I want you to start talking into a video, into a camera, okay? Even if it's to nobody, and start performing. This struggle, this setback, this what's holding you back will dissolve in next month. And after that, you'll begin to shine the light on you. You're important, and you're here to teach other people how important they are as well. Okay, so pick one of those dynamics and focus on the one. So the answer is yes. And Jasmine says, oh, wow, you're spot on again. Thank you. Bridgette says, I had to help my grandkids. I don't know if you did mine. Oh, Bridgette, I did so much on yours. And in that, you're going to have to listen to this again because I talked on and on about you. And also Cheryl in there, you want to message her. She offered you a free reading around communication. So please, when you listen to this again, put in the comment section your feedback. Please, please, please. That's all I ask. Your feedback on what I had said. Congratulations. A lot of it makes total sense, Lisa says. I do have problems with my husband regarding finances. Thank you, Holly. Spot on. That's what I was feeling also, Laura says. And so we're going to finish this with Charlene. I'm definitely going to be on here a lot often. You want to go to my YouTube, and I think I'm going to be going on Rebel, and I will have daily videos. I've already pre-recorded 5 videos that I'll be putting up every single day. I want to really help guide and navigate people through the general energy that's happening. Okay, I like to work with you one-on-one. So please go to askhollyhall.com if you want to go buymeacoffee.com at Ask Holly Hall if you want to sort of pitch in for this freebies that I'm doing. And then we're going to go to, so June. Have you had a mini reading with me? You know, you guys, you can do mini readings. You don't have to do the full Monty. And I can do a lot of talking in 15 minutes, as you can see. And all you have to do is ask a specific question or a few questions about yourself, about other people, anybody. And more specific, they're only 15-minute readings, just like these ones. The more specific I get. So the source can hold right in what you want to talk about. 11:30 maybe. Okay. So she says that she's confused. Yeah, you're confused, girlfriend. This is a cycle that's not ending until the end of this year. So this is not a time for you to navigate towards. There's a lot of family dynamics. There's a lot of communication issues. And you're quite aggressive around this. You're demanding that this change within the communication style. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstandings. People are lying to you. People are misunderstanding you and thinking that you're something that you're not. There seems to be a sense of threatened around this, specifically around females and women, okay, in this family dynamic. And you tried to escape it a year and a half ago when this cycle started, about a year ago when this cycle started. So I don't know what you did to escape it, but you're realizing it's still here. It's not going anywhere. The gossip, the small talk, the superficial talk, it's driving you crazy. You know what you're really good at? Sales. You're very good at sales. You'd be even good at, there's a lot of people out there looking for sales in the self-help industry. Help me sell my program. Help me sell to coaches. I would like to hook up with someone who would like to help me sell my program to people. I don't know the first thing to do. I don't solicit myself. People come to me. I want that to happen magically, right? But I want to build a program that's going to be sold that will help people really dig deep and not just have one-off sessions with me, have long coaching sessions with me so they get results, right? And you usually have to talk to me at least once a week or once a month. Oops, I keep touching my mic. Sorry. Okay, so for you, this is a gift. Now, I want you to hang on until 2023. It's not going to come to fruition until then because you need to educate yourself on something. Go back to school, go back to a workshop. You're very good with your hands-on. You're good with sales. You're good with helping people find the courage to communicate. Instead of focusing on the family dynamic stuff that's going on, I want you to focus on going back to school. And this is something you've always dreamed about, but you don't think you can do it. Okay. And I want you to focus on doing that anytime now. You may not see the light until because there's a bit of blinders going on right now. Until, hang in there. It's actually January. So mid-January of 2023, you'll be less confused. You'll feel less lost. But right now, there needs to be a significant amount of healing. Just like I had told somebody earlier, is the truth that important? Are you talking to people that don't want to listen, that don't have that level of understanding? Is the gossip important to you? Is what people think important to you? Is how you communicate and trying to change the communication that you're having with others? Is it that important to you? And why? What needs to be healed? It's not the communication that's important. It's what needs to be healed. If you could had a magic wand and you could dream, you could write a little story about how this communication would play out and how it would end happily ever after, what would that be? And of course, we might say, well, I would approach my parent and I would tell my specifically father figure here, and even working with a boss if you're in an employment situation, and a husband if you're married. And I would tell them my emotions and my feelings, and they would hear me. They would know what I'm saying. They wouldn't just sugarcoat it with, oh, they're there, and give me this typical feminine emotional response of, I want to help you feel better. No, you don't want to feel better. You want to be understood. You want to have communication. You want to have conversation about it. You want a back and forth communication about it. But possibly that person isn't communicating the same way you are. Now we go back to my friend Cheryl, who I say is a communication expert. So maybe she'll offer you a freebie too. Okay. So I'm going to end it there. There is, I got to go back to where I am. And that's going to be the end of all of my readings. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you for all of your great questions. I know that you're going to help so many other people as well. I just want to, Laura says it was amazing, fully accomplished. I had, yes, a full one. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. It's very clear to me now. Just what I suspected. My new abilities are coming forward. Yeah. So just take a little bit of a course, Charlene, on your abilities. You're hearing the voices, you're getting the messages, but they're being convoluted. They're being mixed up inside. And some people aren't wanting to hear some of the messages. So possibly you could practice on a platform, take a few courses on intuition. I have one actually on my teachable.com, intuition. Try that one. You can get to my Teachable from my website at askhollyhall.com. Okay, everyone. Namaste. Thank you for listening. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.